Hello, and welcome.
Hey,
Welcome
thank you.
to the show,
Okay, thank you.
which we call
The happy hour with Ronnie and John.
Do We Ever.
Yeah,
I don't even know how we came up with that name, to be honest.
I still like the idea of the damage report at this point in time. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
It's kind of,
yeah.
I think that would get confused with a lot of Fast and Furious podcasts, though.
Yeah, which are all, all the Fast and Furious podcasts are on hold for the next year. So
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah.
maybe there's a need. Maybe this is a market to tap into.
Like Fast and Furious podcasts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these suckers won't know what hit them. We'll sweep in and be like, "Hey, Vin Diesel."
Come listen to us.
Yeah,
We have what you need.
we've got the stuff. First one's free, man.
Yeah. It's legal in Canada.
What are we talking about? Are we?
Let's get back on track. This is the Movie Men podcast. If you're tuning in, welcome to our show. And this is the
I
first.
concur.
This is the first of another miniseries. Seems like we've started a few miniseries kind of at the same time, but they're very
I'm
different.
sorry. Okay.
No, I'm.
It's no. Hey,
I'm saying that's a selling point. Like that's people are going to get excited.
I thought you were getting upset.
No.
Okay.
Like maybe if it was a bunch of miniseries on like Anne of Green Gables and The Never-Ending Story, I'd probably be upset. But the movies that we're doing it on I'm totally cool with.
So I've never seen The Never-Ending Story, but Anne of Green Gables is pretty great, especially if it's like the old, like the TV movie one from like the 80s.
Yeah. The Never-Ending Story for me was always the movie. So when you had like the Family Channel or Disney Channel or what have you, it was always the movie that you watched the end of because you were waiting for the next movie to start, and it just would never end.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
How long is it? Is it a long movie?
I have no
The
idea.
Never-Ending Story?
Is it like as a child? It seemed long. It's probably like a normal movie, like an hour and a half. I'm assuming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, this is our first of our Harry Potter series.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And should we? How should we start this? Should we?
I think by starting it, I think
Well,
I think that'll be the most effective. Like that's how people will know. Oh, it's begun.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're watching it in chainsaw order.
Yep.
Which means 1 through 8 or 7. 8 movies.
How is that chainsaw order?
No, I was just being silly about the chainsaw order. So yeah, we're talking about the Philosopher's Stone or the Sorcerer's Stone, depending on.
No, Philosopher's Stone.
Philosopher's Stone.
Because here's the thing.
Okay.
When the book was written.
Yep.
The book was written as the Philosopher's Stone. I'm pretty sure it was only changed for the U.S. market for some reason, some copyright reason,
and sorry, just to clarify, the U.S. version, like the U.S. version, was the Sorcerers then?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. Like, no offense to our friends down south.
No.
I don't know. Like, I don't know why that was. I don't know if it, if America is afraid of the PH grouping of but wait, so it makes an F sound, but no, it's too much for me. It's too much for me. No, like I don't know.
It's probably the connotation, like the connotative differences between a philosopher. Like a philosopher is like, hey, everyone philosophizes, but sorcerer has. Wait, but they chose sorcerers. Yeah, I have no idea why they chose sorcerer.
Right. And aside from that, the historical legendary object of the Philosopher's Stone that was, see, a lot of people don't know that the idea of the Philosopher's Stone and Nicholas Flamel aren't the brainchild of J.K. Rowling. That's not exclusively a Harry Potter thing.
Right. Okay.
So in legend there was an alchemist named Nicholas Flamel, or maybe that's not even debatable. Maybe he did exist.
Okay. Yeah.
But what's debatable is that he created, at some point in his life, the Philosopher's Stone, which had two powers. One, it gave him the ability to create the elixir of life, and two, it had the Midas touch. It had the ability to turn just about everything into gold. And so in actual lore, it's referred to as the Philosopher's Stone. I don't think it's ever referred to as the Sorcerer's Stone. So, I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'd be curious to read up on that.
Yeah.
On what led them to change that for the U.S. market.
Yeah.
And maybe a couple other markets as well, but certainly the U.S. market.
Yeah. So a couple things. One, before we get further into like this actual first movie in this series, I want to get your background on Harry Potter. So with me, my background, I was a skeptic for most of my life. So
really?
Oh yeah. So when these movies,
I do have a question for you based on that, but continue what you're saying first.
So when these movies came out throughout the 2000s and when they finished, I was a skeptic. I didn't have the time of day for Harry Potter. Hated them, ridiculed them with my friends, and it wasn't until maybe 5 to 6 years ago I actually sat down and watched them, like, and by this point they were all on DVD, so I was able to chain watch them all in a row, and I was converted. I was like, okay, these movies are actually pretty legit. Did you feel kind of like, I've done that? I've done things where I've crapped on something for years, for sure,
and then I experience it, and then I feel this overwhelming feeling of stupidity. Like I feel like I've been a jackass.
So maybe like that's not. I totally get what you're saying. For this, to be honest, the feeling that came to my mind was the feeling of missing out on something, because I love Lord of the Rings, and I remember seeing Lord of the Rings, like waiting for the next one to come out in the theaters and just being just part of that journey. And I feel I missed out on that with Harry Potter, just going along with the ride and having them come out and like anticipating the next release of one being released in, the summer, and just I felt like I missed out on an event. But yeah, ultimately. Well, ultimately, I made fun of them, and a friend of mine, who's been on the show, Jesse, we both ridiculed Harry Potter for years, and then we both went off in our lives, independently watched them, and then, we're incidentally talking one day, and we're like, actually, we've both seen Harry Potter, and we both love the movies now.
Yeah.
Haven't read the books. That's the last thing I'll say. So you'll notice some of my comments throughout this series might seem a little ignorant or uninformed just because I've only seen the movies, but that's so my experience.
I've read the first 3 and an 8th books.
Oh, cool.
And so I will, I've got some points to make today that are kind of based on that.
Okay.
My question for you, before I tell you my history with it, my question is, was some of that, without getting too much into politics and world matters and stuff like that, was any of the you not liking it, was any of that influenced by you growing up in a Judeo-Christian home?
I know what you're referring to, just because that it was kind of a polarizing issue in some communities and some groups. That wasn't the reason. I don't know if you just chalk it up to my social group wasn't really into Harry Potter. I had 1 or 2 friends that were into it. I think maybe it had something to do as well with, we talked about this with the MCU universe. It's cool to be into kind of what some people deem nerdy things now, as with 10, 15 years ago, it wasn't as cool to be into nerdy things. at least in my social groups, like the cool kids were the people who were into like sporting things or just kind of cars blowing up, like that kind of scene. And I think Harry Potter just got a bit of a bad rap, and combined with I wasn't really interested in it, so it just came out as something that I made fun of and I thought was just kind of garbage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, in contrast, then this was my type of thing growing up.
Cool.
And exploding cars, gunfights, like they just like unless it was like I would enjoy gunfights in something like The Matrix, but really what I was more interested in was them like pulling off impossible maneuvers and moving slower than normal and other aspects of the Matrix, like the Matrix focus thing that they do where they dive and they dodge bullets and stuff. That to me was the biggest appeal. Everything else in the Matrix when I was a kid was filler in between those shots happening.
That's fair.
So my experience with Harry Potter hit the cinemas as a film series when I was grade 2, maybe? Grade 1, grade 2, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I was in public school for sure.
Right.
And prior to the film starting to come out, I had never heard of it. At that point, I think there was 2, maybe 3 books out. And which was interesting about this film series is that they started releasing the films prior to the completion of the books.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So for like 4 or 5 years, or maybe even 6 years, there was, they were releasing interminglingly. And I remember big, excitement for the movies, but I also remember like midnight openings of the newest copy of the book and people like on the news, people like camping out to get their hands on one of the first copies. It was like the iPhone thing.
Right.
But for a book. Which
yeah.
I feel like is fairly uncommon. Maybe you saw some of that again when the Twilight stuff happened.
I guess.
But I don't think it was quite to the same level that it was with Harry Potter.
No.
So I got into it pretty hard and pretty fast. I had a friend who was really into it. Like just crazy into it. Had his room was done up like it, and he was just a complete, and he'd read the books. He'd been reading the books. And he was just a complete and total pothead or Potterhead.
I was like, what do you mean by that?
Something.
Yeah.
I don't think he did drugs. We were very young. But yeah, so he was really big into it. And I was big into it too, just not like him. But I mean, I had toys, and I had an actual physical tangible version of Wizard's Chess.
Oh wow. Cool.
Which didn't come to life and break each other, but
okay, that's a little less cool, but still cool.
Was still themed very coolly. I had a little toy. I mean, it was just everything. Harry Potter was instantly everywhere.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
So I did have a bunch of stuff. It became a tradition for my mom and I to go see them in the theater.
That's cool.
And so, yeah, every time a new one would come out, we would go to the theater. Then what's interesting is I'd seen all of them except for the last one.
Right. Oh.
Until about 3 years ago.
What? Really?
Yeah, because you probably even saw it before I did.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, because what happened was it had became a tradition to happen with my mom, and then when I was a teenager, I kind of I moved away for a little bit.
Oh, sure.
So I missed the opportunity to see it in the theater with her.
Oh, yeah.
And so then, to me, it felt wrong to watch it
Right.
without her. And so the intention was always, well, we'll sit down and we'll watch it on DVD or something together. We'll marathon it to recap and, whatever. But a combination of, my mom's just really not that into movies.
Oh, okay.
Not to say that she was like, I think she truly enjoyed every time we'd go and watch a Harry Potter movie.
For sure.
But to get her to sit down and watch 8 films even over the course of a month,
right,
or month or two, it was hard to find. It was hard to find the time that both of us,
that's pretty tough.
Could do that. Because then what does everyone else, like, we were a house of 5, so and not everyone else was going to be interested in sitting and watching that.
Right.
So I don't think she's like, so eventually I was like, okay, enough is enough. I got to watch it. I was showing it to a friend. I was showing the series to a friend who had never seen it.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, okay, well, I can't just, we got to finish the series.
Sure.
And so I still don't think she's seen the last one.
Interesting.
And I've only seen it once.
Oh. Ooh, this will be interesting then.
Yeah, I've only seen the last one once.
Right.
And then so about 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago, I still had never read the books.
Cool.
And so I was like, you know what? Because ultimately, I'm not a big reader. I should be. I wish I was. I wish I was, more. I just don't. It's not. Reading books is not something I prioritize. And so, but I was like, you know what? I was like, I want to change that. I want to get into a book. I want to start reading a book. I definitely have read books, right? Stuff like The Secret Garden I've read. The Hobbit I've read a couple of times.
And that's
like
good.
there's several others.
Yep.
So I do read. I can read. I just don't. It was never my biggest joy was reading books.
Yep.
And so I was like, well, I want to change this, and Harry Potter seemed, it was something that I knew I would be interested in.
Right.
So it seemed like a good logical choice. And so over the course of maybe 3 months, I read the first 3 books, and got a chapter or 2 into the 4th book. And then work got real busy, or something happened, and I didn't, I didn't come back. I didn't come back to it.
Right. Right.
But I'm wanting to again, especially after watching the first movie. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, there's so many good things. I have this philosophy when it, people, there's this big debate. There's a chicken and the egg debate when it comes to watching the film or reading the book.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
What should you do first? And what would your take on that be? What should you do first? Watch the movie or read the book?
Obviously, since I haven't read the books, I guess I'd say I'd say watch the movies first. But
but I mean in general, with anything.
Oh, with anything. Case dependent.
As a general rule.
General rule, then the 9 times out of 10, most people, including myself, would usually say read the book first.
Okay. Excuse me. Yeah. And I would disagree 100%. And the reason being is, what happens is when you read the book, if you read the book and you haven't watched the movie, then when you're reading a book, your imagination is at work. And so you're reading the descriptions of things, and you're forming images in your head, and you're interpreting the way that lines were delivered, so on and so forth. Then you watch the movie, and those expectations are almost always not met.
Oh, for sure.
Right? It's like, that's not how okay. And then there's always like, oh, what? They left that out? Oh, what happened to this scene? Oh, where's Where's the part about this? And but when you do it the other way around, then all of a sudden you take a movie that you love,
right,
and you sit down to read the book, and the book, like, you know, your imagination, the work that your brain is having to do is much less, because you're, you know, well, no, but I mean, as you're reading it,
but the way you said that though is an argument against it. But I know that's not what you meant.
But I mean, as you're reading it, you're imagining Daniel Radcliffe. You're imagining Maggie Smith. You're imagining Alan Rickman in these roles. You're reading the lines. You're reading Snape's lines in the Alan Rickman tone.
Right.
And so then the book just serves as this ridiculous extended edition, director's cut.
Director's cut.
All these extra scenes in a story that you love. So you can't lose.
There can be a danger, and I can't use Harry Potter as an example, obviously, because I haven't read them. But there have been movies that are based on books that I've read the book and also watched the movie. And I wonder if there's a danger, and I'm not saying this would happen in every situation, but if you watch the movie and it fell flat. So I can think of a movie where I viewed it, and the movie was so flat, and if I hadn't read the book, I might have finished the movie and thought, I'm not wasting my time on this book, because this underlying, like, just this whole, everything about this movie, like the story, the premise, the characters were just very one-dimensional. And if I hadn't read the book and realized the magnitude of the characters that the book kind of extended itself to, I'm wondering if there I guess there's situations where that can backfire too, watching the movie first.
Maybe. And I think it goes both ways.
Oh, like, absolutely.
I think, you know, both Lord of the Rings, the book, and the movies,
right,
are amazing. That
is 100% true.
I like the book The Hobbit more than I like the books of the Lord of the Rings.
I'd also tend to, I'd be pretty close to agreeing with that.
Just because it's less complicated. It's just a nice, old-fashioned treasure hunting story.
Absolutely.
Had I seen the Hobbit movies before reading the Hobbit book,
right,
I probably would have no interest in reading the Hobbit.
You see, that's exactly what I mean, right?
But
yeah,
you know,
yeah, cool. Yeah. Well, let's get into it.
Okay.
One thing I want to make is, it's an interesting point you said about you seeing the movie every year with your mom. One unique thing is there's a certain generation, or a couple generations, depending on where exactly you were born, that really grew up with these films. And it, like, the people watching this film were the same age as the main protagonists.
And growing up with him.
Growing up with them. And as the movies advanced and the kids in the movie got older, the generation watching this film also got older. So there's kind of a unique connection with some people who watched this film as far as how they aged and the characters they watched aged.
Right. And again, like I said, I can't, like, I'd have to sit and look at, I'd have to look at dates and figure it all out. But if someone right now told me that I was 11 when I saw the first one, I wouldn't have an argument against it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so it's quite possible that I did grow with the films.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I've got a list of notes here, and
cool.
I think it's just, you know, I just want to read the top one, because that's the one that I have
for sure
highlighted and bolded and underlined.
Okay.
And that's just simply that Dudley Dursley, is an asshole. that was like, yeah, that's my most underlined note.
I mean, yeah.
A spoiled little ridiculous.
Oh yeah. And what's
you know? Last year there was 37 presents.
Oh yeah.
This year there's only 36.
Yeah.
Like, what an a-hole.
He's the very definition, and it's almost hyperbole how much of a character, like how much of a comic book character they make in him being kind of a dink. Yeah. I do wonder about the logic of them leaving Harry with this family, because even Professor McGonagall says that she has worries of the child's safety, and that she's watched these people, and they're quote unquote, they're the worst sort of muggles.
Yeah.
And Dumbledore literally retorts, and he's like, they're the only family he has. And I go, so what? Like, you're not tied to any legal guardianship. Like, put the boy anywhere where he'll be safe, and don't put him with Dudley and the crew.
Right. I mean, I think there can be a lot said for Dumbledore and his regard for human safety, which is fairly low.
Right. Yeah.
Welcome, first-year 11-year-olds. Yeah. Stay off the third floor or you'll die.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah.
Next order of business. Book
orders are due next Tuesday.
I mean, I wonder, you could get really deep with it, and you could ask yourself, is Dumbledore thinking that, or does he know that that 10 miserable years with the Dursleys is something that is a thing that Harry needs to endure in order to grow and be the person he needs to be. Like, yeah, right. I don't know.
Yeah. He needs it to galvanize and become stronger or what have you.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'd be interested, like, technically the proper legal thing to do would be that, it's quite possible that Lily's sister Petunia, both named after flowers.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
It's possible that, that they had a will.
Yeah, fair.
And that, so part of that could be a respect thing. I mean, I do question it a little bit because Dumbledore doesn't exactly seem like he is a stickler for the rules. And actually kind of is a bit of a big child at times and gets a kick out of breaking the rules.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, stuff like that, I wonder, we get into a process of, are we debating and reviewing the film, or are we debating and reviewing the book? Because
right.
Like some creative decisions the movie wasn't able to make.
Yeah, that's true.
Like movies change some things, they leave some things out, they throw one or two additions in, but I feel like something like that, if they're like, well, you know what, we're not going to write the Dursleys into the film, we're going to do, like, that's
there would be
people would crucify them. Yeah,
that's true.
But they are miserable. They are awful.
Very. Yeah.
It seems to me, and again, I can't remember. So, full disclosure, I don't remember the book super well.
Sure.
And so I mean, in the book, there's obviously, there's a lot more that happens. At the start of the book, like, we go and we spend a day at Uncle Vernon's work, where he works. We find out where he works, and we find out, sort of all of these things. Harry, and I think this is the same in the book, but Harry doesn't seem, for someone who doesn't have any inkling up until this point that magic exists, he has no reason to think that.
Yeah.
Seems to very quickly get over the notion that glass just disappeared.
Right.
And that I'm having a pretty decent 1-to-1 with this snake right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, that's a moment where you shit yourself, because you're like, what is, what is,
yeah.
What?
It's hard to know. Like, maybe he's had inklings of, like, in the past in his life where he's done little things where he thought it was just coincidence, and then maybe he's had some inklings that there is more to this world than meets the eye. It's hard to know, but I'd agree. Like, if something like that happened to me, I'd be a little worried about hallucinations or that I've lost my mind.
Right. One other question I have for you.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this house on the island?
Yeah, I was actually, yeah.
Like, where, how do, who was your real estate agent? Like, who was listing that?
Right. It's like
what
a shack.
is this place?
It's just like a shack.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something. I
It makes for a great shot. Like,
oh yeah,
panning up to it, but the realities trickle in, and you go, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my first note on here is literally talking about the magic that is John Williams, that obviously just makes this film. From the first, from the introductory credits where the melody starts playing to the very end credits, just this movie isn't what it is without John Williams.
Do you think that John Williams? I wonder if John Williams is actually to credit for the score. Because there's a fourth wall break in this movie, where Hagrid is sitting outside of his hut and he's playing his piccolo or whatever it is, his recorder.
Right.
And he's playing the Harry Potter theme song.
That's right. Oh, that's true. That's a good.
And so
point.
I'm just curious, who got that from who? Like, does John Williams own Hagrid Rubius some like royalties over this?
Who knows?
Because otherwise, that seems just a little too on the nose. It seems a little too like, what, really? You're what? It's like, it's the equivalent of Batman hopping into the Batmobile, right, muttering to himself, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that happens in movies sometimes, though. They'll use like iterations or variations of like main themes. But yeah, this one's really on the nose.
Oh yeah, he's just flat out playing it.
Yeah. So something this movie kind of touches on throughout this entire movie, and then it really hits on it in the following movies. It's introduced, like, it's just the concept of racism and marginalization, where it starts off with Harry's mother kind of has some jealousy and judgment towards like Harry's parents, and obviously what they've told Harry at times was lies, but at times you can tell there's some jealousy with his aunt. And then on the flip side, there's also just a lot of marginalization towards like the purebred magic families, like Draco Malfoy's family, towards like the the half-breed families that's like one parent was magical, one's not, and then definitely towards
half-bloods.
Half-bloods. And then definitely a
mudbloods.
lot of marginalization, racism towards like the Muggles in general.
Yeah.
Very, very heavy topic as far as, in a children's story, but it's very applicable.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's interesting because you have, like, in this story, I think that wizards are the minority race.
Yes.
Because I can't remember what film it's in or if I read it in the book. But like they used to coexist. Right? Humans and wizards and witches used to coexist, but then there was some, it was like the Dark Ages, and like I think they play into like the Salem witch trials and all this stuff.
Right. Oh, okay. Yep.
And then yeah, and so then all these wizards were forced into hiding.
And now we have like a climate of kind of fear of the unknown on one side, and then kind of superiority on the other, or a feeling of superiority.
And so I think it falls into the category of it's very, very, very similar to X-Men.
Oh yeah, that's true. I think.
In the sense that one group is being oppressed by the other.
Yep.
And the good guys go, you know what, even though they're not ready to accept us, even though we can't coexist, they're not, maybe it's not their fault, they just don't understand, they're still worth protecting.
Right.
And then you have the extremists who are going, they're awful to us, they don't deserve to live.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
So I think it's the same kind of setup. Is yes, they're in hiding, but people, I think all wizards, even particularly Dumbledore, I think they get a kick out of Muggles.
Right.
And I think they definitely see Muggles as less advanced than they are, and less, but not in and as such they're unworthy of life kind of way.
No.
But that so in the second one, Arthur Weasley, there's a moment where Arthur first meets Harry, and he says, "So tell me, Harry, what exactly is the function of a rubber duck?" And so that things like rubber ducks and things like electricity and things like, all of these things, telephones, have been created by humans because humans can't do that all these devices are kind of crutches.
Right. Yes.
That each device serves a purpose.
Right.
Fills a purpose that humans are otherwise unable to do because they don't have magic.
Right.
And so, so I think, which is funny in that scene then, because it's, I think that line could translate to, what purpose is a rubber duck filling? Like what spell, what ability of mine is a rubber duck making up for?
Right.
Besides bacteria breeding grounds, but
yeah.
I think there is sort of an estranged relationship between the Muggles and the Wizards. And the Wizards, the humans are ignorant to the fact that that the Wizards exist for the most part.
Right.
And that the Wizards, in a lot of cases, most Wizards, are fairly, don't have a lot of understanding about the Muggles.
Right.
Everyone just kind of keeps to themselves.
Something, when you're talking about all these crutches, a fundamental problem I have, and it's not the movie specifically, I guess it would probably be the underlying story, is I still have to this day a problem with the ability to use magic to repair objects, in this case such as glasses, but not actually repair the underlying medical condition causing the need for glasses. That's right. That's always that. Not a main story point, but that is a little pet peeve of mine.
And I wonder, that's interesting. I mean, it seems, I'd be curious, and maybe the books dive into this at some point, because the books have so much in them.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But I wonder, when Ron's trying to turn his rat yellow on the train, and Hermione says, "Are you sure that's a real spell?" Mm-hmm. Anyways, it's not a very good one, is it? Mm-hmm. That kind of got me wondering, well, who decides? How does a spell become a spell?
Right.
Who creates spells? Right. And how is a spell, who dictates what the words are for a spell to happen? Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know. Like, my understanding is that the Wizards are somewhat bound by, they're bound by what can be done and what can't be done. Mm-hmm. And things like mending bones with spells you can do.
Right.
Or unless you're a total quack. But maybe correcting eyesight Can't be done.
Yeah.
Or
True.
at least can't be done by an 11-year-old who hasn't actually studied magic yet. You know, like who's to say that if, you know, who's to say that Voldemort couldn't do some kind of spell that would fix Harry's eyes, or a potion, that there's not a, you know, maybe that's more potion territory. Because it seems potions potions lend more, obviously, because they're a drinkable substance, lend more into the biological aspect.
Right.
So who knows?
I've got two things. One is a comment, and then the second is a question I want to bounce towards you about this movie.
Okay.
Just about
I'll bounce
your
it back.
So the first is the comment. The first time I watched this series, and then every time I've watched it since, including when I started it with this viewing, I love, adore, and approve of the amount of trolling and writing Snape gives Harry Potter.
Yes.
Because,
okay, so spoiler alert to everyone.
Wait, how far are you going with the spoiler?
I'm going far.
Okay.
Spoiler alert. Snape is... Snape's like a triple agent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And ultimately, fundamentally, Snape is Harry's guardian in the shadows. We see it a little bit in this one.
Yes.
We see him counter cursing Quirrell's, you know, attempts during the Quidditch match. But what's great is, like, especially if you hadn't read the books, or to those who were reading the books as the books were coming out, there was always this question of, like, is Snape a good guy or is he a bad guy?
Yeah.
He's got, you know, at one point we see that he does have a Death Eater tattoo on him. Which kind of goes, okay, well, you know, life. At least one point he was really bad. But then, you know, but again, spoilers, and then we discover it at some point further down the road that, well, you know, he was maybe, you know, maybe not so much, like maybe to some extent that was him being like infiltrating the Death Eater ranks and like all of this stuff, right? So
I just want it to be clear that before I knew whether Snape was bad or good, like, he could have been evil for all I cared. I just approved of how much he trolled Harry.
Oh yeah. And especially, like, I just love his confusing line delivery.
Oh yeah.
Where you're not exactly sure what to make of him.
Oh, it's so magical.
You know, and something that I can't see done by anyone other than Alan Rickman.
Oh, so well done.
Right? Like, there's a scene towards the end of this movie where the three of them, you know, they're pretty sure Snape's the guy.
Right.
That he let the troll in, you know, and that's why he's got the big gash in his leg and all this stuff. And so, Snape bumps into them and he says, God, I wish I could remember the line word for word, but it was, you know, he's like, he's looking at Ron and Hermione and he's like, you know, be careful, you know, be careful how you compose yourselves. Is basically, I'm paraphrasing, but be careful how you compose yourselves. Otherwise, someone might think, and he turns and looks at Harry, and Harry, like, tightens his eyes, like, glares him down. And Snape does this, like, excuse me, like, changes his expression to this excuse me look.
Right.
Or like, why the hell are you looking at me like that kind of look? And goes, up to something.
Yeah.
And this Alan Rickman's not a voice I can do. I wish.
Oh,
maybe I'll have to work on that.
Yeah. Please do, because you're so good at voices. That is one voice I would love to hear ring on this podcast.
Bennett, look this up today. Make a note of it right now. Take out the loud pen that you click through episodes and write down on a piece of paper.
Right.
Write down on a piece of paper. Benedict Cumberbatch. Look up Benedict Cumberbatch's Alan Rickman impression.
Oh boy,
it's incredible. Like if they end up doing a biopic about Alan Rickman's life, which I don't know if they like. I don't know how exciting his life was.
It's hard
I don't know.
You know,
I think we're likely to get a Robin Williams one before we get an Alan Rickman one.
That would be a safe bet in my books. Yeah.
But if they were to do it, Benedict Cumberbatch could play him 100%.
Wow, I got to check this out. So that was my comment. My question to you is specifically with this movie. It's not short, and I'm fine with long movies, so I need to say that to begin with. But it's a 2.5 hour film. I'm wondering if, and I haven't read the books, so some of this stuff isn't as important to me. Could we have done without some of the, I'll call it side plotty things, which don't necessarily fuel the underlying story? So the things, I guess, just like the Harry and Malfoy flying and the Quidditch shenanigans, or like the extent and the length of the troll fight scene in the bathroom, or specifically just the length of the Quidditch game. Like, were some of these things that could have been trimmed down a little bit, and if you want more Harry Potter universe things, you read the books, because then you can have that explored fully. Like, where do you land on the length of this movie and where they went with kind of the universe of Harry Potter?
I mean, I think the length is just right. Again, I'm one of those people who, like, if they were to, if tomorrow, and I get this is an unpopular opinion, and I get that this doesn't necessarily make a film better. But if tomorrow they were to announce that they're re-releasing all the Harry Potter films, but each one's going to be 3.5, 4 hours long, because they're including everything from the books,
right?
I would watch it.
Sure.
And maybe it wouldn't become my go-to version.
Sure.
But I would need to watch them all at least once.
Okay.
As it stands, yeah, I'm happy with the 2.5 hours, and I think that, as far as Neville's Remember All and Harry chasing Malfoy with it, I think that shot's important because, that leads to him being on the Quidditch team. And although maybe the Quidditch game in this movie didn't further the plot at all, it does in future movies. Future movies, there are Quidditch games where big moments happen, whether it's Dementors or it's rogue bludgers that have been, kind of set after Harry or whatever it is. There are important things that happen during Quidditch games. And if you didn't take the time to set that all up in this one, then the next one comes and we go to have an important plot point during a Quidditch game, and everyone's like, okay, the hell's Quidditch?
Yeah.
And like, what? Yeah. And Harry's on the team? That's impressive.
He's suddenly the quarterback?
I kind of see, like, I think often, scenes can serve two functional purposes. Functional purpose number one is furthering the plot, right? Moving forward, giving us some exposition. And there are some clearly obvious awkward exposition moments in this film, 2 or 3, and usually delivered by like side characters. Like, I think Nearly Headless Nick at one point does it. They're like, Nearly Headless Nick is like floating through the halls talking to another ghost, and he says a line that's like gives you all kinds of information and helps you understand what's happening in the movie a lot better. But it's just like, it's like, oh, okay, it's a good thing we heard him say that. So now we're up to
speed. Yeah.
So yeah, furthering the plot is one. I think the other purpose that a scene can functionally serve, because there are some scenes that are just like, well, that should not be there, in movies in general, not specifically this one.
Yep.
But the other purpose a scene can serve is fleshing out characters.
Yes. Okay. Yep.
Because here's the thing. Even if you don't learn anything new about that character, if you were to trim all the fat of this movie,
sure,
you could probably get it down. If you were to just hit the important plot points, the plot points that need to be there so that the ending makes sense.
True.
You could probably get this movie down to 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
And I don't know that you would feel the same fear for the characters, like when Ron gets knocked off the horse during the chess game. Like I don't know if you feel the same emotional impact if you've only been with these characters for a little over an hour up to this point.
Right. Yep.
So I think just in general, I think even a scene like Wingardium Leviosa, that scene served two purposes. One, it served as the beginning of the feud between Harry, Ron, and Hermione, which ends up seeing Hermione crying in the bathroom. Right, because Ron makes a comment about her being a bloody menace, and no wonder she doesn't have any friends. Because it's Leviosa, not Leviosa. But it also shows you that Finnegan is terrible at spells and keeps blowing himself up every time. Seamus Finnegan is terrible at spells and keeps blowing himself up every time he tries to do one. In the deleted scenes, there's one where he's like, I think it's this film. Maybe it's the next one. Maybe it's actually in the film and it's in the next one. But there's a scene somewhere where he's trying to turn a glass of water into rum.
Oh no, that was this one. Yep.
Is it in this one? I must have blinked. But yeah, and he blows himself up. Right. And so, it just kind of, it gives you instead of having all these background students, because in the books, some of these characters serve much bigger purposes.
That's true. Yep.
Right. And so, but this just kind of fleshes everything out and lets you know, okay, that's the quirk of that character. And so when that character does have a line occasionally, then I understand, I have a little better idea who that character is, and I care a little bit more. Right.
Yeah, that's a true point. I made a note about the Quidditch kind of chasing each other around scene where that allows for kind of the introduction of Hermione beginning her serious long habit of cursing Harry and by extension Ron when she says, like, she gives her advice of, don't take like the bait and do what we're not supposed to do right now, and she goes, "What an idiot." Yeah. What an idiot. I'm going to bed before you two come up with another idea to get us killed. Or worse, or expelled.
Worse. Yeah. She needs to sort out her priorities.
Yeah.
Here's a question I have. And it's kind of jumping back.
Sure.
The Leaky Cauldron.
Okay.
Which is a pub in England, in London.
Okay.
And is also essentially the gateway into Diagon Alley. Right, where Harry first meets, like, Tom is the owner and the bartender, and Harry first meets Quirrell.
Right.
Although there's no, like, this is just a pub. Anyone can walk into this pub. And although there's no, at least in this film, there's no magic happening in it. Like, there's no one's like, no one's like, you don't see anything floating around or happening magically.
Right.
Everyone in this, like, I don't know. I feel like if you were to stumble off the streets into this pub, the first thing it would be like, is there like a murder mystery happening here? Everyone's dressed in like 18th century like medieval time clothing. Everyone's in like cloaks and tunics and
right.
Did you notice that? Like,
yeah.
and I don't know that there's no electricity. Everything's candles and lanterns.
Yeah.
And everything's like old steins and
just a walk-in
tumblers
just in every sense.
And so I just wondered that. I was like, someone, even though there's no magic happening,
right,
the Leaky Cauldron is still not a very good like it raises some eyes,
right,
because it is mostly wizards who are in there.
Yeah. It would definitely be out of place.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump around here because this is a point I really want to make, and it's less of a story point. It's more just like of Dumbledore just dropping some serious like life advice bombshell on Harry, which has some significance with the plot in a way, but it's also just taken out of context. It's like a bombshell. with the mirror of Erised.
Yep,
And just when he talks about, this, it'll bring neither truth or knowledge, men waste away looking at it, and then quote unquote, it does not do well, it does not do well to dwell on dreams, Harry, and forget to live. And I was like, dang, like dropping this knowledge on a movie where when you and I watched it, we probably would have snored through it as little children in public school. And now I watched it and I'm like, dang, just dropping some serious knowledge of like life advice here.
Yeah.
Very profound. Very.
A question I've always had about that scene. So the mirror shows you your heart's most deepest desires.
Right.
Not just things that you want, but the thing that your heart longs for more than anything else.
Sure.
And for Ron, that's being head boy and winning the Quidditch Cup.
Yeah, I know. Like,
talk about sorting out priorities.
Yeah.
Harry's like, I long to see my dead parents.
Yeah.
And Ron's like, I want to be the popular one.
Honestly, yeah.
Like, I found that,
Yeah, come on, Ron.
come on.
Just raise the bar a little bit as far as your aspirations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a topic. So
Sure. Yeah.
in this film,
Okay.
the sorting hat scene
Yes.
and the visual effects of the sorting hat, I would say, for the most part, hold up pretty well. The sorting hat looks okay.
I would say you finish and I want to make a comment on that. Yes.
Yeah, it's a little janky.
Yeah.
Texture-wise, but overall, it's not bad. Overall, the troll is not bad. It's okay. Friends, the centaur in the forest.
Oh, yes. Who rescues
overall,
Harry? Yep.
Overall, looks okay.
Okay. Yep.
However, there are any of the scenes where we are animating students on brooms in this film. I when I was a kid, I had so coinciding with each film, there was a computer game release.
Oh yeah, from EA, correct?
Yeah, I had the Philosopher Stone video game as a kid.
Cool.
And I'm pretty sure the cutscenes in that looked better than the kids looked flying on the brooms in the movies. It's so bad.
Boom.
Like it just doesn't hold up. And maybe they didn't have what year did this film come out? 2001?
Correct, yeah.
And so at this point, like, we've had, people, it was 2001. It's, and it's like, well, okay, but that's 2 years after some of what we got in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
So
I think 2001 you get into the territory in the realm of, okay, you can't use history anymore to say, well, let's excuse some faults. Like, you're getting into the area where you had the technology and the capabilities to pull some good stuff off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It some of it's awful. Like, you just look at those scenes and you go, wow, that didn't age well. But it is funny that, like, historically, I never, like, it wasn't until I think the last time I watched this 2 or 3 years ago that I felt that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I think, there is something to be said for, at the time, at that time in movie whatever, I was like, okay, looks pretty real to me.
Looks real to me. So I don't have a problem as much with the specific scenes you're talking about with the broom riding, but so I think the hat holds up. I literally do not have a problem with the hat, and neither did you. I think that holds up just fine. Something that I don't know if it doesn't necessarily hold up, or maybe it doesn't have the desired influence on the viewer as it should, is near the end where we see Voldemort's face on the backside of the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. Like, conceptually, that's a very alarming, like circumstance, like someone like a half undead, very sinister, evil entity is living on the back of someone's head. Like that in reality, like if that was to happen across the street from me, I'd be very nervous and scared. And I'm not sure if it's just the CGI. Like I found it a little bit distracting versus terrifying. And I'm not sure if it's just that I've seen this movie a few times, so I was expecting it and maybe building it up a little bit different in my mind. But that scene, I'm not sure if the CGI holds up as much.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it definitely doesn't hold up as much, but I don't, out of the scenes that I was like, oh, that's distractingly bad. That one didn't make my list, but
that's right.
That's it's fair regardless. Speaking of the centaur in the forest, there's a scene.
That's such a random thing to say. Like, I dare you in this coming week, just when you're talking to someone, just out of general, I want you to say, speaking of the centaur in the forest.
Speaking of the centaur in the forest. There's this scene where he leans into Harry and he says, "Harry Potter, are you aware of what object is hidden in the castle at this very time?" And I feel like Harry's appropriate, and what Harry says is, "The Philosopher's Stone." But I feel like what Harry should say here is, "Yes, do you?" I thought this was like some big secret. Who the hell are you?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
you tell me.
I don't know. To me, I do. You tell me. Who the hell are you?
I don't have to tell you a thing.
I don't know what object you talk. Maybe I do.
Maybe
Depends.
I don't.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
No, to me, that was like, The other thing was when they are, in sort of the climax of this film, when they're getting through the challenges, they're going through the devil's snare, and then they're going through the chess game,
right?
And the scene where Harry's got to go up on the broom and get the key because Ron's tried Alohomora on the door and it won't open. My thought in this scene was considering we're talking about Ron and Ron's history with spells.
Right.
Maybe should someone else try unlocking the door magic? Like, Ron walks up to it once and goes, "Alohomora!" Damn it won't open. And everyone else goes, "Oh, well.
There's nothing else we can do."
We gave that our best shot. Like,
right.
I'm more thinking, like, hey, Ron, step aside so Hermione can try this.
Yeah. Ron, hold my beer for a minute. Let's let other people try.
Yeah. So, so that's one of the scenes where there are differences from the book. So in the book,
sure, there's
a whole nother room that he comes to.
Oh, okay.
Harry comes to with Hermione, or does Hermione leave him at this point? But there's a room where it's a potions room.
Oh.
So the idea is that each teacher has bewitched a certain, like all of the teachers who are looking after the stone, helping protect the stone. Each teacher has put sort of a curse that you need to overcome. So like the wizard's chess game and like the flying keys and stuff like that. And so there's a potions one. There's one that you have to, I can't remember exactly, but it's something like there's different potions on the table and there's a ring of fire, like Harry's engulfed or like surrounded by this ring of fire, flames, big flames. And drinking the right potion on this table will allow him to pass through those flames unharmed. And drinking the wrong potion will kill him pretty much immediately. And there's maybe like 3 or 4 wrong potions and 1 right potion, and he's kind of like there's like a riddle
kind of
or something.
Jones' Last Crusade, you got to pick the right cup or else you dead.
Kind of. So, and I remember, reaching that part in the book and being like, wow, like this is really interesting. I didn't like. Right. What is happening right now? 2 other examples of that. One is in the book. There's actually so there's a ghost. There's a big character excuse me, reoccurring character in the books named Peeves. Peeves the poltergeist. And he's this ghost that kind of haunts the school and makes everything difficult for the students, is constantly playing jokes on the students. And he didn't make it into the film at all. But there's a whole scene where Sir Nicholas is having a birthday and Harry ends up getting invited to the birthday party. I think that's this one. I get the first one and the second one kind of confused. But yeah, Peeves is having this birthday party, or not Peeves, Sir Nicholas is having this birthday party, and so they're all there, and Harry's there with a bunch of, like, having this awkward party with all of these ghosts. And, so that was kind of a fun scene. I understand why they cut it. The other thing, there's a whole chapter, like in the movie, Hagrid gets his dragon, Norbert, and then Harry and them get caught by Malfoy and reported to McGonagall, and McGonagall sentences them to detention. And then the very next shot, they're back with Hagrid again, and Hagrid's like, "Yep, Norbert's gone. Dumbledore sent him away," and all this stuff. And it's like, what? Oh, that was quick. Whereas in the book, there's a whole chapter about this planned escape for Norbert, and they like take him up to the tallest peak of the castle, and they have to sneak him up there, and he's I think he's gotten larger at this point, so they got to get him up there. And then in on another dragon flies in Ron's brother Charlie from Romania to take the dragon as a refugee, and like there's this whole overarching storyline,
right?
Which didn't make it into the movie, and again doesn't really further any plots. Maybe would make you feel, would maybe magnify the heartbreak that you feel for Hagrid over losing this, because it's a bigger ordeal,
right?
But I think would have been an expensive sequence to do, because you have to, it's more of an action-y, bigger, and probably would have taken, probably would have added another 15 minutes at least in order to do properly.
Yeah.
So I understand why they cut it.
You got to draw the line somewhere. Cool.
That's pretty much my notes.
I think that's all I've got. If we want to give it our score,
all in all, it's a really good movie.
Oh yes, I'm very eager to be reviewing this series. Yeah.
So I'll go first.
Yeah.
I give it a 7.8.
Okay.
It's not my favorite in the series. It's not my least favorite.
Sure.
But it's not my favorite. And yeah, it's solid.
Yeah. I gave it very close. I gave it a 7.7. Would not hesitate to pay money to see it in theaters. I'd be lying if I didn't give it full points on rewatchability, because I know I will be watching this film again at some point. I'd agree, not my favorite, but it's a very good movie.
And this sounds miserable to most people, and it also sounds miserable to me,
Sure.
but every so often, movie theaters do like, come pay $100 and watch all 8 Harry Potter films back to back to back to back to back to back.
Sure.
I would totally do that.
Right.
And it'd be an awful, miserable experience, and I would have to use energy drinks and whatever else to get me through it.
But it would be worth it.
It'd just be a fun experience, I think.
I've got some trivia questions here.
Okay.
Are you ready?
No. Fire away.
No, you need to be mentally prepared.
Okay, give me a sec.
Okay. And
No, just wait.
okay. And
No, hang on.
okay. Are we there?
Just about.
Oh, almost, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. All right.
wait,
so
wait,
David Heyman.
wait. I lost it.
Oh my gosh. Let's go.
Okay, I have it.
All right. David Heyman produced this movie.
Good for him.
Or was a producer for this film. And I didn't really know, but he's been involved with a lot of very interesting movies. So a lot of the Harry Potters he produced, I Am Legend, Gravity, which I know we're not a fan of, the Paddington movies, but he's got quite a few. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I know you're not the biggest fan of, but he's got quite a few interesting movies on his resume that he helped produce. So this guy, David Heyman, in 1997, was searching for a children's book or children's series that could be adapted into a well-received film. He planned to produce what before actually coming to Harry Potter? So this was his
in 1997?
I want you to I want you to guess what his original goal was before he moved on.
And it was a book
and I'll
series,
give you either children's book or children's series.
Okay.
Sorry, and by series, like it's all in book format. It's just whether it's a standalone or part of a series.
Okay.
So I'll give you some options. The first is the Chronicles of Narnia series written by C.S. Lewis.
Okay.
The second is The Ogre Downstairs by Diana Wynne Jones.
Okay.
The third is Shrek, based off the 1990 picture book by William Steig. And the fourth is The Trumpet of the Swan by E.B. White.
Wow, you have made these all. I don't think it's Chronicles of Narnia.
Okay.
That one feels thrown in there. The other three, I mean, Shrek also maybe feels like it's thrown in there, but I'm impressive that you've done the history to determine like the picture book and who wrote it and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the oh god.
That wasn't an option.
This is tough. I think this is the most in the dark I've ever felt about one of your trivia
happy
questions.
that you're in the dark with this. This is good.
I'm gonna go with the trumpet one.
Okay. So coincidentally, some of these were actually films that were made in 2001, which is the year that this film, like Harry Potter, came out. So The Trumpet and the Swan and Shrek both came out in 2001, but it was actually The Ogre Downstairs that his goal was.
That was my second guess.
And when you think about, like, I've never heard of The Ogre Downstairs compared to one of the most financially successful movie series of all time, like that's, thank God you changed your mind at the last minute.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, his plans fell through, and his staff at Heyday Films suggested Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone because his assistant believed it was a cool idea, quote unquote.
Well, I agree.
If by cool you mean boatloads of cash, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
That's, to me, that's what defines coolness, is financial gain.
Oh, for sure. I've got it. The next one is a true or false. True or false? Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is the highest grossing film in the Harry Potter franchise.
Oh, wow. Adjusted for inflation?
That's a good question. I would think no. I think it would just be because it doesn't clarify that in this answer. So I think it's just straight up, did it earn $10 versus $9? Just because the movies came out within like a 9-ish year phase. So I don't know if inflation would change it that much, but I think it would just be dollar for dollar, not inflated.
I mean, and so we're not talking box office. We're talking all-time gross.
Yes. To what I looked it up, it stated the highest grossing film. So yeah, I don't think it's exclusively box office.
That's tough. Like, I want to say, how could it be?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the first one,
mm-hmm.
and anticipation grew.
Like, but as you said, there was a following because these movies did start when the books were already released.
Right, but I think, like, so those people for sure, like that explains why the first one did so well.
Right.
But then, like, I have to think that those people, or the majority of those people, stuck around, and then and then other people, like, there's no way the final one didn't make the most money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say false. There's no way. There's no way it made the most.
That's fair. So that is the correct answer. Without giving away state secrets, because I might kind of ask this question in different ways again at some point. Okay. And I'm not being like silly here when I say it was the highest grossing film for a while. Like, obviously it had to be, because for a point it was the only Harry Potter film.
Sure.
But it was the highest grossing film longer than you would expect. I'm not going to tell you when it stopped being the highest grossing film, but I'm surprised by the answer, and I'll revisit it later in this series.
All right.
The final question is true or false. Steven Spielberg and M. Night Shyamalan were considered for directing this film.
So this film's directed by Christopher Columbus.
Yes. Not the one who found America.
Well, that's debatable. He introduced us to the Harry Potter movies.
Who's to say, right? Who's to say?
Who? Steven Spielberg and
M. Night
Shyamalan? I could understand, like, if you had just said Steven Spielberg,
mm-hmm.
I would have said, sure, okay.
Right.
I don't know, why not?
Mm-hmm.
M. Night Shyamalan. I mean, that feels unlikely, just because what kind of twist was he gonna add?
Yeah. Harry Potter was an alien the whole time.
Like all of a sudden, I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems too strange. I'm gonna go with true. I'll say true.
Yeah, you're right. What I read online was Steven Spielberg was maybe more of a consideration, and I think that's who they kind of consulted first. According to what I read, whether it's true or not, apparently Steven Spielberg thought it was too much of a, like, shooting fish in a pond. Like, he thought it was too sure of a thing. I guess just for his artistic muscle, he wanted more of a challenge, just because it was already a popular book series. He thought it would just be kind of a shoe-in to make a lot of money. And then I think he had a project at the same time. I think that's when AI was coming out. So anyway,
right.
Steven Spielberg was, I think, more of a consideration, but M. Night Shyamalan was on the list of other directors that were considered, which I agree. Like, I'm wondering what kind of plot twist they were, like, if he, in an alternate universe where he did direct this movie, I'm just waiting. Like, I want to know what the plot twist was.
I mean, Voldemort on the back of Quirrell's head is kind of...
Yeah, that's true,
It's a twist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This final thing, I'm not going to ask it as a question, but I just want to state this. So Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, both came out in 2001. They both grossed more than 800 million, marking the first time that two films released in the same year both made over 800 million, which I thought was crazy. And it makes sense because both those movies were nuts as far as how popular they were.
Well, and we were entering an age where more and more people were going to the theaters.
Right.
Part of the reason we're seeing numbers like we've never seen before is just that more and more people are going to the theaters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
What'd you watch this week?
I watched, I believe, 2 films.
Okay.
Other than Harry Potter.
Okay.
And the first was your recommendation to me, which was Wild Wild West, the 1999 film.
Okay.
And I watched it for how you said to watch it. Like, it's just a silly, over-the-top, ridiculous movie. And I'm going to say it's definitely not my favorite film. I don't think I'd watch it again. I might not. But for what it was just a fun viewing of just something farcical, something light, something not very serious, has some comedic moments. I think anything where you can watch Kenneth Branagh and specifically a 1990s lighthearted Will Smith is a treat.
Yeah.
And Emmett Walsh also holds his own.
I really enjoy that movie. I really like the there's a scene where they're fighting on the giant mechanical spider,
Mm-hmm.
and Will Smith keeps going up against like different henchmen, like guys with like
Right. Yeah.
knives for like, and and this guy comes in and he's doing some kind of like karate kung fu thing,
Yeah.
and he's like, I learned that from a Chinaman. And then Will Smith like grabs a shovel and knocks him out, like just hits him over the head and goes, I just made that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
to me, it's fun.
There were a lot of lines from this movie that I just found out they were from this movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
I guess just from like, when you're in public school, and I guess other kids had seen this movie, and that was one of those specific lines. There was a kid in my elementary school class who just said that over and over again, and I just didn't understand. Like, I thought he was just being silly, and I was like, I don't understand what he's saying. And now, like, it totally completed the circle when I watched this movie. I'm like, oh, he just watched Wild Wild West and liked the movie. I got it.
So I feel like you need to get in touch with him and apologize.
I didn't like ridicule him for him. I just didn't like laugh at his jokes.
Hey, Jedediah? Yeah, it's Pete. Yeah, third grade. Right.
I'm sorry.
Look, man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just saw Wild Wild West. You're all right.
The other thing I'll say is I think I liked the first half to 2/3 more. The last third got a little too ridiculous, but
It gets a little over the top.
yeah. But also, and then they Frodo mithril vest Will Smith, and he survives like a gunshot, which I'm okay with. But then he also survives an impossible fall.
Yep. Yeah. But he's
I,
Will Smith.
I love me some 1990s Will Smith.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like, it's like the period where he's like coming off Fresh Prince. He was in this. He comes into Hitch. You kind of get to the point where like the I Am Legend point, and that's the turning point where he becomes a little more serious, which is fine, and it's good to see him in other serious roles. But it's just a nice little throwback seeing him in the 90s. The only other movie I've watched is a movie that I'm going to recommend to you, and it's a movie I started watching in the summer. And I kind of got busy, and I just stopped watching it, and I wasn't in the right zone to watch it. And I picked it up the other day, and I picked it up at the right time. I was absolutely in the right mind space to watch it. So I hope you're in the correct mind space to watch it. I'm going to also combine it with my shout out. I was talking to Carl Eastman about this film. It's a movie he asked me if I had seen, and I said I haven't finished it yet. And now I finished it, and we've just chatted about it briefly. All I'm going to say is it reminds me of a mixture of Castaway with the book Life of Pi.
Okay.
It's a very fantastical.
You have my attention.
I don't want to get just go in with an open slate, but it's a very fantastical movie, but also light and kind of just. Just appreciate it for the visuals and the soundtrack and It'll be heartwarming at times. It'll be just kind of entertaining at other times. There's an acting carryover between Harry Potter and this movie. And after I've said all this, I certainly hope you haven't seen it.
I was going to say, you're building this thing up.
If you've seen it, I will be 8 times more upset when I found out you had seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
The movie I want you to watch is starring Daniel Radcliffe, and it's the 2016 Swiss Army Man.
No, haven't seen it.
Okay. Well, that's what I want you to give a try.
Swiss Army Man.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Dano.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is this one of the ones where he does an American accent?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to think about that for a minute.
For him.
I think it is an American accent. You're making me think twice, but yeah, pretty sure.
Cool. All right. I look forward to it.
What did you watch this week?
I watched two movies.
Cool.
Movie number 1 was The Village.
Oh, cool.
And I made a list. Yeah. So I gave this movie a 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, cool.
So it's good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I'm actually glad to hear that.
And just made a list of I think so much of it is just the cast.
Mm.
Adrian Brody,
Right.
Sigourney Weaver,
Yes.
Bryce Dallas Howard, Joaquin Phoenix, William Hurt, Judy Greer is in this. Like, there's Jesse Eisenberg, like,
Right.
the film just keeps kind of throwing people at you.
I forgot Jesse Eisenberg was in it till I watched it. Like,
not a lot,
no,
but he's in it.
and I think he was carrying around a tablet with Facebook on it, so it was just kind of a
Yeah. It was kind of a fun nod to the Social Network, which is a film he hadn't done yet.
Right.
But no, and I mean the twist.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. So
right. Yeah.
you spend a good chunk of I always spend a good chunk of his movies going, okay, what is happening here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is not what it seems? What is real and what is fake? And what is going to be revealed to me is not what I thought it was. And
right.
And it got me.
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't I thought I'd figured it out.
Mm.
And then the twist happened and I was like, "Oh, son of a bitch."
Yeah. I'd say, and I appreciate Joaquin Phoenix as much as you. I guess if you're writing things out on a piece of paper, just the fact that he isn't in the entire movie is a flaw to me. Just because I would love him to be in every scene of every movie and be from the beginning to the end. So that it's not a flaw, but I'm just saying I like me some Joaquin Phoenix. So unfortunately, he has a deteriorated role near the end of it, but it has to be so for the story.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. What else did you watch?
I watched a pretty good. So my recommendation to you,
okay,
which is a pretty good, terrible movie.
Okay. I like me some of those.
It's a movie that's got no real. Like, I'm trying to think of other examples of this. I know I go back to Lost in Translation a lot.
Sure.
It's a movie that's got like no real climax. But this one's even more like.
I get a kick just how different we were with Lost in Translation.
So this movie, movies that like don't seem to have a clear, laid out story. It's really just like an hour and a half, 2 hours of different events happening.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Right, like if they were to make a movie about you and I watched it and it was like, oh cool, like what period of his life was covered, and I go, oh well, Thursday to Friday. Oh right. Cool, what happened during that time? Well, he did life, like he went to work and he interacted with people, right? So it's like,
okay, yeah,
the movie's much more, it's about character story.
Sure.
And yeah. It's a Jack Nicholson film.
Okay.
It is a Kathy Bates film.
Kathy Bates.
Do you not know who that is?
Yeah, no, I'm just rereading. Yeah.
So the movie that I'm recommending to you is a film called About Schmidt. Yeah. It's a movie I saw years ago when I was younger.
Huh.
And probably younger than I should have been watching it, but it was good.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm laughing because I just popped up to like the picture of Jack Nicholson and his hair is kind of crazy, yeah. And it just reminds me of like those memes online that compare Jack Nicholson with Leonardo DiCaprio, and where Leonardo DiCaprio is on the spectrum of like just unkempt and crazy, like Jack Nicholson, and
yeah.
Cool.
But
I'll totally check it out.
It's good, but you have to like, if you go into it expecting it to be good, it's not going to be good.
Okay.
If you go into it just completely open to what's going to come your way,
sure,
you may enjoy it. It's very I would say it's artistic. Like, if you're expecting high-paced interestingness, then you'll get
so burned.
You'll get halfway through the movie and go, has anything happened yet? Like, it's so slow. What's what? And then just as soon as it seems like something's going to start up and happen, you're like, okay, here we go. And then like 2 minutes later, you're like, oh, that didn't turn out to be anything.
Right.
What?
Right.
But it's fun. It's got. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
I looked this up and I was surprised. Rotten Tomatoes. It has a audience score of 74% and a tomato meter score of 85.
That's respectable. That's very, very respectable.
So people like it.
They do.
So,
cool.
Yeah. So I hope you do as well.
I'll give it a try.
Okay. You do that.
Well.
Oh, all right.
I think that about wraps it up.
Okay, bye then.
Bye-bye.
Wait, do you have like a shout out for someone? Like, what do we like?
Well, I gave an impromptu one, but just Carl
right.
Eastman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those things down below. Patreon. Yes. Turns out running a podcast is really expensive.
Yeah, it's not free.
And especially nowadays, because on top of podcasting expenses, we also are faced with the pressure of buying more toilet paper than makes sense for anyone.
Just to clarify, we have not been hoarding toilet paper with our Patreon money. It goes straight to paying the bills for the show.
Yeah. Yeah, we're still in the red. Help us.
Yeah.
Please.
You're our only hope.
And good luck to everyone right now. Everything's really scary.
Yeah.
But
if we just stick together and look out for one another, that's all we can do.
Yeah. Stop panicking, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Don't make out with strangers.
Yes.
When
this is over, you can make out with strangers. That's another discussion, I guess.
And spay and neuter your pets. Goodbye.